The first huge teaser for Chapter 7 is set to drop. While Springfield is suffering from Homer's shenanigans, the foodpocalypse is in full swing. It's already time to start prepping for Chapter 7. This is because the Dark Presence, the one we stole the 0-point shard from during the last event, wasn't fully defeated. That was just the first part of Chapter 6's conclusion, with a way bigger story event slated to happen on November 29th. Before we dive into Chapter 7 leaks, which reveal all the details and a ton of other stuff you definitely don't want to miss, let's figure this out. How are we even getting to Chapter 7 Island? It all starts with how we got zapped into the Chapter 6 reality during the remix event. We found the missing 0-point shard, which flew into a portal in the sky before crash landing on the island, awakening all kinds of ancient magic. It was ultimately swiped by the Dark Presence and dragged into the Spirit Realm. Next chapter is also kicking off with one of the biggest live event. We'll have to fight the Dark Presence again, but this time we have to defeat it for good. An Epic Games employee even stated this event is the craziest thing he's ever seen. And personally, I'm hoping to see something like the Big Bang. Drop a comment if you witnessed this event. However, there's one crucial part of Chapter 6 finale event that nobody is talking about. Peely recently showed up at the final season premiere of Stranger Things, and he wasn't just there. He was rocking a vest from one of the characters of the show, none other than Eddie Munson. That vest had a patch with a very important detail. The logo for the Seven, the organization founded and led by the Foundation, whose goal was to stop any threat and liberate the 0-point. And something tells me, the Seven are the ones who are going to help us stop the Dark Presence. But how are they even going to be mixed up in the event? During the last event, we saw Hope use an alien's beam to steal the 0-point shard and haul it over to the new Springfield reality, where it landed right in Homer Simpson's hands. In reality, that was just a small fragment of the 0 shard. The rest of it is actually still under the control of the Dark Presence, and this is backed up by Jonesy's dialogue. It's becoming clear that the island is about to go through some serious changes, and it's all thanks to Homer Simpson, who's going wild with the remote and acting like a god. Springfield has already been hit by a rain of donuts. This hasn't just completely changed how the island functions, it's also another huge reason that will grab the attention of the Dark Presence, which is currently hunting for its stolen 0 shard. Homer's out-of-control use of the remote is going to broadcast our island's location. So, are we going to manage to beat the Dark Presence? Well, we've got a huge pile of details that shed some light on the events coming at the end of this month. Earlier this week, Epic Games sent Nick A30 a mysterious teaser that said, "Now, playing 0 Hour, Chapter 7, Fortnite After Dark, with Q and U, dated November 19th. Not only do we expect Chapter 7 to be fully revealed on that day, but what's way more important is the 0 Hour part. I'm betting this is the official name for the Chapter 6 finale event. Hang on to that 0 Hour piece, because it's going to be super important in just a second." At the exact same time this teaser went out, Epic Games sent several Fortnite characters to different events, including that Stranger Things premiere where Peely was seen with the Seven's logo patch. There were also Fortnite characters at other events holding signs that said Chapter 7, with the word 7 written in the exact same style as the teaser sent to Nick A30. This got the whole community buzzing, speculating that we might finally see members of the Seven return to the storyline. Remember the 0 Hour event name we just talked about? Every time the Seven is involved in an event, it always has 0 in the title, just like we saw in the Zero Crisis finale. And at this point, fellow loopers, we can only guess what trigger will pull the Seven back into our reality. And seriously, will Epic manage to patch up all the plot holes that formed while the Seven were gone? Maybe we'll somehow see that the Dark Presence is actually connected to the last reality, and then it will all make sense. And who knows, maybe we're looking at another collab merge, especially since we're waiting on that new Blitz map that's totally redone for the Stranger Things collab. Who's to say the Spirit Realm won't be something similar? We can't deny the fact that Fortnite is on the brink of massive changes, since pretty much every map now is a collab with some media property. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, well, that's for you to decide. The most blazing, undeniable receipts that the strategic Disney-Fortnite merger is already underway is the current mini-season dedicated to The Simpsons. This franchise, which rolled into the Mouse House after the 21st Century Fox buy, proves just how deep Disney is willing to go when integrating their colossal media archive. We're already seeing a whole world, an entire universe like Springfield, with its one-of-a-kind style, characters, and spots being absolutely seamlessly baked into the Fortnite ecosystem. This is way more than just a slick new skin pack. It's a full-fledged temporary overhaul of the map, mechanics, and general vibe. Just by checking out this integration and seeing Disney merge franchises that are outside their core family content wheelhouse, you get a real breath of fresh air and can tell how serious and massive their plans are. If they can integrate The Simpsons with this kind of depth and quality, imagine the tidal wave of content coming our way when they finally open the floodgates to their entire vault. It'll be like hitting the lottery. The current Simpsons miniseason is ending in early December, which means Chapter 7, Season 1 is right around the corner. According to the most trustworthy insiders, we're getting a totally fresh setting, with rumors pointing to a Las Vegas, Nevada theme, a gala party kind of vibe. This could give us a high society feel, sort of like the first season of Chapter 5, and maybe even a continuation of the society organization story, but it could also bring something darker and more mysterious, like nods to Area 51 and aliens, which would be a logical throwback to some classic Fortnite themes. Collaborations always manage to shock and awe us, but the Chapter 7 rumors are sounding truly wild. The loudest, most talked about rumor, besides the Disney stuff and the news that Warner Bros. Is also building some kind of in-game universe in Fortnite, is the possible invasion from the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Insiders are hinting at a potential crossover that could mean skins, wands instead of pickaxes, and naturally, broom gliders. If this rumor turns out to be legit, we might even see map changes like Hogwarts, and possibly the temporary swapping out of some weapons for spells, which would completely flip the script on the game's core mechanics. It's not clear yet if this will be a battle pass or just a store drop, but the potential is enormous. On top of that, leaks are also suggesting a completely out-of-left-field collab with SpongeBob SquarePants. Beyond the new content, Epic Games, of course, isn't forgetting about the modes that already exist. Expect new mechanics tied to LEGO Fortnite, most likely a full map and world integration of LEGO Ninjago. Chapter 7 is basically becoming a kind of launchpad for new mechanics and crossovers, but it's really just the appetizer before Disney's epic main course. You probably remember when Disney announced their $1.5 billion investment in Epic Games. This isn't some quick stock buy or a basic crossover. It's a strategic partnership focused on building a new, permanent open gaming and entertainment universe that will be super tight with Fortnite. Players need to get that this won't just be one more Fortnite season with Disney characters. It'll be a separate, fully functional world that will still interact with Fortnite. Basically, Disney is setting up its metaverse by using Epic Games' tech foundation and its massive user base. The whole point of this partnership is to create a single, integrated ecosystem where fans can play, watch, shop, and hang out with content and characters from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and other franchises. Epic Games is saying you can get into this ecosystem through both the Disney front door and the Fortnite front door, stressing the mutual integration. This whole project is often nicknamed Digital Disneyland. The gameplay experience in this new world will be all about getting to craft your own stories and adventures, letting fans show their love for Disney franchises in a unique way. Plus, we can expect features for viewing Disney content, like movies and series, right inside this platform. Even more exciting is the chance to buy real-life Disney merch through this digital platform. Disney has also hinted at interactivity with their actual theme parks, where Actions players take in the digital world might score them bonuses or opportunities at a real Disneyland. The key word here is interoperability, cross-compatibility. But it's important to note that this will be a safer, more moderated environment. Don't hold your breath for every Fortnite skin to work in the Disney world, and Mickey Mouse probably won't be running around blasting loopers with a pump and dump in Battle Royale. This project is Disney's savvy, strategic answer to the metaverse concept, utilizing Fortnite's ready-made huge audience and cutting-edge technology. Chapter 7. And the Disney Metaverse are not just another couple of content drops. They are rock-solid proof that Fortnite has officially transformed from a simple game into a full-blown platform. Epic Games is crushing it, turning the game into a sort of operating system for entertainment, where Battle Royale, LEGO Fortnite, and now the Disney World are simply separate apps available to the user. Chapter 7 will act as the crucial bridge, offering loopers exciting new collabs like Harry Potter, a refreshed map, and maybe new mechanics that will test if the community is ready for even bigger changes. Meanwhile, behind the curtain, a whole digital universe from Disney is getting set for its full launch, expected sometime around 2026. This merger is showing off Epic Games' gigantic ambition to create one single, open, digital ecosystem where your favorite worlds don't just bump into each other, they live and grow together. The future of Fortnite looks incredibly jam-packed. Whether that's awesome or a total headache is up to you to decide. But considering the rough waters at the end of Chapter 6, let's all keep our fingers crossed that this moves things in the right direction and isn't a repeat of the drama that went down this past summer. Too long ago, the entire Fortnite community went into meltdown. Out of nowhere, map clones from Roblox shot straight into the top recommendations. Epic pushed it hard, players went nuclear, and the debate exploded. But this isn't just some random scandal, it's a symptom. A symptom that Fortnite might have lost its direction. First, we gotta figure out what UFN even is and where it came from. Unreal Editor for Fortnite replaced the old creative mode, which at that point had already burned itself out. This wasn't just an upgrade. UFN gave creators the keys to the kingdom. Instead of just building maps, they could now build entire games inside Fortnite, powered by Unreal Engine 5. And don't think this was some minor patch. Creators suddenly had access to advanced graphics, new materials, scripting logic, custom animations, the works. Officially, UFN came into play after the final event of Chapter 4, when Jones launched the rocket with the time machine into the 0 point. That explosion shattered reality into trillions of fragments. Each fragment became its own world, either built by Epic themselves or by the players. In short, Fortnite turned into a full-blown metaverse. Sounds massive, right? Sure. But here's the problem. In chasing trends, Epic stripped away the one thing that made Fortnite special, the unified atmosphere of the original game. Instead, we got a giant sandbox. Hundreds of maps, many of them feeling the same, most of them built just to squeeze the monetization system. The original vision for UFN was ambitious though, a space where everyone could find something they liked. Minigames, quests, shooters, full-on RPGs. Basically, Epic stepped directly onto Roblox's turf, and at the time, Roblox was riding its peak wave of popularity. But to compete with a platform like Roblox, flashy tools aren't enough. You need a strong incentive for creators, and that is where money steps in. Big money. To keep it simple, the formula is this. The more players visit your map, and the longer they stay, the more cash you make. Other factors also play a role, like audience retention, how many people add your map to favorites, and so on. But the main number that decides everything is online activity. The higher it is, the bigger the payout. Some creators are already pulling in six-figure checks. According to Epic's official stats, 7 creators made over $10 million, 14 made over $3 million, and 37 made more than $1 million. Not bad for a free editor, right? And get this, a creator named Panville pulled around $20 million in a single year just from his box fight maps. Funny thing is, in the early days, Epic acted like true guardians of quality. They promised heavy moderation on UFN, so players wouldn't drown in trash content. They banned misleading thumbnails, cracked down on cheap copycats, and pushed the message that Fortnite should stay a space for creativity, not just cash grabs. But then, in an interview, Epic rep Dan Walsh casually admitted they had no real way of stopping the flood of low-effort maps. That basically killed the narrative of, "We're protecting the players." Even so, some creators are still using UFN to its full potential, building with ambition and craft. The problem is, recommendations rarely reward them. Instead, they boost the most generic 5-minute islands that rake in clicks. Why does that happen? The answer is simple: money. It looks like the more maps there are, even the most low-effort ones, the better the engagement numbers. And engagement means retention, stats, advertisers, and all that corporate jazz. The result? Instead of a unique sandbox where creators poured their soul into building worlds, we got a half-baked Roblox knockoff stuffed with cheap copy-paste content. And here's the irony. Epic is now playing by the same rules they swore to fight against in the beginning. Which brings us to the real reason this whole video exists. On August 30th, a map called Steal the Brainrot suddenly shot into the top recommendations. And at first glance, it could have gone unnoticed. But then Epic launched a full-on promo campaign for it, blasting it across X, Instagram, and more. That alone raised eyebrows. But the real kicker, they featured it in Fortnite's own news tab, even giving it a giant banner in the main section. The kind of spotlight usually reserved for big-time events. Not even the item shop gets that kind of love. Unfair doesn't even begin to cover it, but Epic went further. They pushed mobile notifications directly to players, promoting updates to this brain roadmap. That was the breaking point. Even the most die-hard defenders of UFN and the metaverse started losing it. Comments under Epic's posts turned into a full-blown cancel campaign. People who defended Epic at every turn suddenly flipped sides. And yet, the map peaked at over 400,000 active players. Let that sink in. That's more than Epic's own top modes combined. On paper, you might say fine, it's just another weird map, let it be. But here's the thing, Steal the Brainrot isn't even an original Fortnite creation. It is literally a copy of a Roblox map that's been pulling insane numbers, hitting up to 20 million players. So now we're stuck with this picture. Epic is promoting a mediocre map that was ripped from another game. And the fallout? Not only are Fortnite players roasting Epic, now even Roblox fans are clowning them, pointing out that Fortnite is chasing their content. The irony is brutal. Back in the day, Fortnite was the game that set the trends. Other titles copied its mechanics, its style, its ideas. Now Fortnite is out here promoting a copy-paste hype map from Roblox, not even trying to improve it or give it a unique twist. Think about that. A game with billion-dollar budgets is taking inspiration from projects made by teenagers after school. And here's the real damage. Moves like this instantly kill trust in Fortnite, and especially in UFN. Remember how they sold it to us? A platform for unique projects, a breeding ground for the next generation of game dev. That was the dream. But the reality? Instead of innovation, Epic basically legalized endless copy-paste. And it doesn't stop there. The hype around Steal the Brainrot completely wrecked Fortnite's recommendations tab. Dozens, if not hundreds of knockoff Brainrot clones started flooding the system. Now every player who just wants to take a break from Epic's official modes and try something fresh gets buried under waves of recycled trash. Naturally, after seeing this, most people want nothing to do with UFN. But let's circle back to the fact that Epic themselves pushed Brainrot so hard. Some of you might say fine, they promoted it, who cares? Don't like it, don't play it. Fair.